And welcome everyone to Goffstown High School for a softball match between Goffstown High School and the Bedford Bulldogs. My name is Scott Gross, and I'm joined by Scott Brannon, and we are live today on GTV. And a little bit cloudy today, Scott, for this big game for Goffstown.
This is a big game, and we pretty much the entire week we've had must-win games to keep our playoff hopes alive, and we've had two beauties. Our first two comeback wins of the year, and we're just kind of keeping our hopes alive, and we need to just keep plugging along, and one more win gets us into the tournament. I hope it's today. You know, one thing that the viewers unfortunately didn't get to see and hear was Christy Jenkins singing the national anthem, and I'll tell you, I have heard the national anthem sung not just here in Goffstown, but I'm talking about pretty much any sporting event. I don't know if you're going to hear a better anthem than that. That was unbelievable. That was amazing.
I didn't know, like, she's a softball coach here for Goffstown, but man, what a voice.
Yeah, I don't think any of us saw that coming.
Holy cow. I'm like blown away by that. So as you mentioned, this is a real big game for Goffstown. This could be a do or die game for them, as a matter of fact. They play Londonderry tomorrow, and they need to win today. There's no doubt about it. So in the circle is going to be Kylie Still. And Scott, I think, I've heard, we were up in the press box before we started, and, there's a lot of chatter up here about, just Goffstown's season. It's been good and bad and ugly and everything in between. And that lately they've had two impressive wins, and hopefully that can spark them today. Yeah,
it's like the first time we've really kind of showed that fighting spirit. The games that have been difficult earlier in the season, it seemed like, when we took that first punch to the face, we really weren't punching back, but they know their season's on the line, and they've been fighting this week.
Yeah, if we can go around the infield here, we've got Justine Watterson at shortstop. That pitch is high, and Coach Fleming is going to call timeout, and he's going to have a substitution. So Watterson is going to come out for Gifford.
That was awesome to see. I know she was crushed that she missed her senior season, and she's been working her way back from that accident in this winter, and it was a thrill to see her back on the field.
Yeah, so you talk about dealing with adversity, and Justine, I mean, just exemplary in terms of how an individual deals with adversity, and just coming back from being hurt in an auto accident. Always a smile on her face, and just it's more than just athletics when it comes to that. It's about you as a person, and she is a great young woman. And that pitch is high for ball two. We got a little bit of
rain starting.
Yeah, a little bit of rain.
I was hoping it would hold off till after the game.
That pitch is popped up, and it's going to fall, I think. Oh, Gifford makes an unbelievable over-the-shoulder catch.
And that's the way to start.
Holy cow, what an awesome play by Gifford. I thought that was going to drop.
And, in some of our previous games, that first out of the inning has been tough for us. So it's great to get that first out and get rolling in the first inning.
And that's a ball to Erica Barley, and this is a player that I think Goffstown needs to be careful, right?
She definitely is a power hitter.
She's the shortstop and probably the best hitter on the team. And that's popped out of play. So 1-1 count to Barley.
Bedford, similar to us, has been up and down this year as well. They beat some good teams, and they're up and down. So we'll see what happens here.
Ooh, that one looked pretty good, but it's a little on the outside part of the plate, Scott, and that goes to a 2-1 count.
It's always a rivalry game against Bedford, and we'd love to put this one in the W column.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what sport; it's a rivalry when it's Bedford. That's sharply hit right up the middle, fielded by the center fielder. Peterson throws it into Coyle, but a single for Barley. And in steps number 16, Maddie Freitzel. And let's see what they do here. Obviously, with a number 3 hitter, you usually don't see bunting. But, in some of these games, you want to put some early runs on the board and just move runners around. Let's see what Freitzel can do.
Be nice to take that lead runner out.
And that's, I tell you, a quick bat by Freitzel, right?
She's ready to pounce on the ball.
Yeah. No, but I'm just talking about she's got a short, compact swing, very quick swing. She fouls that one off for an 0-1 count. And that's popped out of play. So, folks, we're doing this game live, and I want to thank Adam McCune and GTV, and we got Broden McCune up here in the press box with us. And, this is not an easy feat. It takes a lot of preparation, as you know, Scott, to do these types of broadcasts, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the hard work and dedication of GTV. So I want to thank Adam and Broden today for all the technical work, and obviously our big-time, our friend Butch Gifford, who's been doing the camera all season long. That pitch is high for a 1-2 count to Freitzel. The outfield for Goffstown is playing, I'd say, regular depth. But I'd say Peterson's playing a little bit deep, but she's got such tremendous speed, Scott. And she gets hit in the arm, I think.
It looked like she took something off that pitch, too.
She did. She took something off it, and Freitzel didn't really make any effort to get out of the way. It didn't seem. And they're just going to check to see how she's doing. She said she's okay, but see, there's not going to have anybody run for her. So she gets hit by a pitch. So we got runners at first and second with 1 out.
Now her sister's up.
And now it's Morgan. And Morgan plays third base.
Both teams have a pair of senior sisters in the lineup.
Yeah. It's interesting because, Kylie has this so far in these first few batters, she's been missing high and away.
And that seemed to be where she was missing yesterday as well. So when she's at her best, she definitely is moving it in and out, but keeping it at the knees.
Yeah, you got to be
right.
But you got to be careful. I think when I seen her get into trouble, it's this situation where she's pitching them high.
Yeah.
So it's a 1-1 count. That's a good pitch, and she gets ahead of that one. Wow, that's a.
We're gonna have to remember that. That definitely had home run distance.
Yes, it did. I just think that on like these 3, 4, 5 hitters, you got to keep the ball down low
and make them hit your pitch, not their pitch.
Well, now you're in a good count. You're at a 1-2 count. High and away, 2-2. And that's the whole thing, is you just don't want to make a mistake to a batter like this, and before you know it, boom, that could be,
a 3 spot.
3, you got it. So
that looked nice. That must have just missed outside.
Yeah, it's been outside. So it's a full count now to Morgan Freitzel. And again, this is a tough one. You don't want to put her on and load up the bases with only 1 out. And that's grounded hard. I tell you, she puts a bat on it. Still a full count.
And right now seems to be a dead pull hitter.
Right. Which is kind of interesting because when you see that, right? I mean, and typically the coaches will see that she's pulling the ball like crazy. You would think that you would want to adjust your infield and your outfield accordingly, but I'm not seeing that. If anything, I'd want our left fielder to be closer to the line. And that's a walk. I think I go out there and I talk because she's you had a hit by a pitch and then a walk, so she's having some control issues. And Kylie does not usually have control issues.
A lot of games this week.
There you go.
A little bit of fatigue might be setting in a little bit here this week.
Yeah. So Paige goes out to talk to Still, and let's see what the strategy is for Goffstown defensively. Do you think they're going to? I don't know if you keep the infield in. It's a 0-0 game, but let's see what they're doing.
Well, you definitely try to cut that runner off at home if possible.
So they are playing in. So in steps number 5, LeMay.
Infield needs to knock everything down here.
Right down the middle to LeMay. And that's smart. The pitcher's having problems with control. You take a pitch. popped up,
straight up,
and nobody can get to it. So both Page and Brennan went after it, but it was in no man's land there. So it's now quickly an 0-2 count, and I'll tell you, if Still can get a strikeout here, that would be really big for Goffstown. Then you can play your infield at normal depth. And she does. So Still comes back with a vengeance and strikes out LeMay.
Just what the doctor ordered.
You
right
got
there.
it. So now Lucatoni can come in, and she's a lefty.
This is a big out right here. If they can get out of this inning unscathed, that'd be huge.
I agree. Oh, that was a little bit close, but no cigar. A ball to Lucatoni. And we were talking before. I watched Maddie play as the place kicker for the Bedford football team. That's high for a 2-0 count, and I'm telling you,
fantastic athlete.
Unbelievable. You know, so what a versatile athlete.
You should see her play hockey.
Oh, really?
Really good.
And that is popped. And that goes foul. It's a foul ball. Smart play by Brennan not to touch that ball. It had a lot of backspin on it. And that might have been a run had she not had she tried to touch it. So good heads up by Liv Brennan.
That definitely was going to spin off her.
Yep. A 2-1 count. Now it's starting to come down a little bit in terms of the rain. That's a strike on the corner, and that is, Paige thought that was a K. She lost track of the count. The catcher did. So it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs here.
Hopefully it's a little foreshadowing of what's to come.
We hope. And that's hit to, that's interference. That is interference.
Third base.
That's interference. You got it. So that's good call.
Very good
by
call.
the home plate umpire. How that was not called by the other umpire was unbelievable. What? He did?
But he called the wrong thing. He put his arm out there. But that means obstruction by the fielder.
Well, so that'll do it for.
At least they did.
They got the right call.
Got it right. And that's big. Bases loaded, 1 out, and
you gotta let the fielder make a play, which means you gotta try to get around, make an effort to not obstruct the fielder. And in that case, there was really no effort. She just crashed right into her.
Right. And that's a little bit of a break because the ball was headed up the middle. So I think she would have made the play, but she still would have had the range. Get the ball.
I would agree. I agree with you, Scott. I think it would have been. I think she would have got a glove on it, but would she have been able to get Lucatoni out at first? That's the question. And I think it would have been a tough one. It was kind of a slower roller.
And the rain is picking up a little bit here.
So, I'm not sure if we're going to get a instant replay on that one, on that obstruction call. But you know what? You don't see that in softball that often.
And, sometimes you'll see it coming around a bag.
Right.
When they're going for an extra bag, and oftentimes the third baseman. But they never seem to catch it.
Right.
So that was a big play. And, if we can start off this game and jump out to a lead, that would be a great start for us.
So interestingly, we got a lefty pitcher, and sometimes that's hard for a batter who hasn't faced a lefty to try to pick the ball up coming out of the hand.
And we haven't faced one yet this year.
Okay, so I didn't know that. All right.
So, you said, it could be an adjustment.
Yeah, leading off will be Tegan Coyle. Tegan's had a good stick this season. She hits it hard, but that's going to be just foul by about 2-3 feet on the left field line, but she hit it hard.
Yeah, that looked good off the bat, but it just started curling. And that would have been
She packs a lot of punch, Tegan Coyle. But I'd like to see Goffstown kind of jump out quick. High. 1-1 count. So we got the godfathers of softball up here with us, Scott, today. Wake Stillman and Bruce Rand in the dirt for a 2-1 count. You talk about two gentlemen that really are the legacy of Goffstown softball. It's Bruce Rand and Wake Stillman, no doubt about it. I mean, Wake was a coach here for over 20 years.
They've seen it all.
And that's hit hard, but foul ball.
That was close.
And, the other thing about Wake Stillman that people don't know about, not only did he coach here for 20 years, but he is like the king of the dollar hot dog, a champion of the dollar hot dog. which is now $1.50, I think, or even more. But if Wake had his way, hot dogs would be $1 everywhere in the country. Very big hot dog fan. And that's outside for a 3-2 count. That was a close one.
See if we can win the battle here.
She strikes out and throw down to first. So Coyle goes down swinging.
Not after a couple of close calls.
You got it. So in steps Peterson.
So Emily been swinging the bat a little bit more. They've been.
She bunts.
And there is
a nice bunt. Safe. She beats it out, and that was a close play. I am very impressed with the pitcher on that play. She got to that ball real quickly and just barely missed getting Peterson, who can fly, down the path.
I think the difference was because she's a lefty, she had to spin and turn around.
You got it.
And that's what gave us that half a step.
But I like her agility out of the circle. So here comes Gifford.
Off a huge home run to win the ball game last night.
So she hit a 3-run home run yesterday, right?
That turned the tide in the game-winning rally against Merrimack.
She hits it hard, but foul. She's a little ahead of that one, Scott.
So she's anxious. She's excited.
I tell you, she is one of the most offensive threats you're going to see in Division I softball. Why more opposing managers don't walk her? Believe me, I don't know.
Well, that one was up.
Yeah,
it does look like they are pitching around her somewhat.
Yeah. I like what Peterson is doing, is that Peterson is taking a really large lead and almost forcing a throw. And she's super fast. So a 2-1 count. Whoa, way ahead of that one was Gifford.
And
a little bit off speed pitch, right, Scott?
She's going to see a lot of off speed today, I believe. All these players from Bedford know her. So
yeah, she was way ahead of that one. Just a little overzealous. And she hits that one. Caught! What a great catch in center field.
Maddie Lucatoni.
That was Maddie Lucatoni. Woo!
Took away extra bases.
That was a tremendous jump, and what a great catch. That was an all-star level play there by Lucatoni, and robs Gifford of easily a double. And in steps number 9, Taylor Watterson. That's in the dirt. I'm curious. Do you try to, steal with Peterson? I mean, she is lightning fast. I don't know the arm of the catcher for Bedford.
2 outs in the dirt. I'd be taking my chance to get a runner in scoring position.
Right. So 2-0 count to Taylor Watterson with Peterson at first. Very speedy Peterson. And that pitch is high.
And there goes
Snap
the throw
down.
you were talking about.
Yeah. I like that only because you're forcing the throw from the catcher. And that, I don't know if you saw there, but the right fielder for Bedford didn't move. So if that ball gets by her, she might.
She's at third.
She's at third, no problem. And now she moved on that one.
4-pitch walk right there. And hopefully we can have a little 2-out magic like the other day.
So now Brennan steps in, and with a runner at first and second, we've got Peterson at second and Watterson at first. And Brennan has had a good year, too. A lot of pokes. A couple home runs this year. I think 3, right?
6, I think.
6? 6 home runs? How would you know that? Oh, I'm sorry. You would know that. Hits that ball to shortstop. Again, you got to stay out of the way. Ooh, what a nice arm by the shortstop there. And that was Barley. And Goffstown will go down. They threatened with stranding 2 runners. So we'll head into the top of the second inning. And Scott, I like what I saw from the Goffstown hitters. Obviously, you had a great hit by Gifford there. Just Lucatoni just robbed her. But aggressive on all accounts. And even the strikeout by Coyle, that was after 2 or 3 really solid foul balls. So
really nice contact.
Good indication that the bat should be good today.
You know, and I think when you get a lefty like that, she's not really that overpowering, but it could be one of those things where second time through the lineup, they get a little bit better read on her, and you know, I'm hoping for good things.
Right. So I think, the thing for Kylie still is just trying to stay ahead on the count. She struggled a little bit in that first because she was kind of a lot of pitches that were high and away. She's got to be careful, and if anything, keep the ball down low. Looks like the rain has stopped right now, and we've got a decent-sized crowd here. It is senior day, and we acknowledge the seniors before the game, and I'll try to talk about them as we go through the broadcast, Scott.
Glad to see the rain stop. We have nowhere to put them. We've had 4 or 5 makeup games already this year. So
in steps Whitney Fitzgerald, designated player. And that could be trouble, and it is going to be trouble. That's a single. And Watterson is there. This is why you back up. And the thing that is important that those of you in the audience should know is that we got a rain, it is raining, and the outfield grass is slick. So you pick that ball up, it's a wet ball. So a single for Whitney Fitzgerald, and in steps Catherine Sasso.
And she looks like a threat to bunt.
Yes, I would agree. And Brennan is in about 3 steps. Both of them are in. And she swings through that one.
See if he puts it on here. I'm a little surprised that she wasn't looking to sacrifice her up to second base. She did square there, but pulled it back.
I like what I see in terms of the fielding for Goffstown. We had Coyle running over to first because as Mullen comes in, someone's got to cover first, and even we got Page covering the line on a potential overthrow to back that up. And that ball's hit to Page.
Plenty of room.
She's under it, and that's the first out of the inning.
It's good to get that first one.
So in steps number 33, Elise Buchanan. And she's playing right field. See if we see a bunt here, too. Oh, and that hits her.
I believe that's the first 2 batters she's hit all year.
Hit by pitch. That's runners at first and second. You heard that thud from up here. So now we go to the top of the order for Amelia Edwards, and she popped to the shortstop. That was that great play by Gifford where it was kind of over the shoulder. So got to force out at any base but home. That was a strike, a little bit high, but we'll take that when we got robbed on another one. So these other things all even out.
Looking to cut down that lead runner if possible.
That's a bunt foul. 0-2 count. I think fundamentally, these are the types of things, like when you get to these close games, laying down the bunt and moving runners over, productive outs, they matter. I like that pitch.
Yep.
But a good at bat, so Edwards is hanging in there. You make a good point. This is critical to try to get that lead runner because you don't want to have runners at second and third with 2 outs. And way to hang in there. That was a really great pitch by Still. That ball kind of dropped.
And she looks like she's got the kind of back control where she'll follow a handful off.
Yeah. But an 0-2 count, so Still can waste a few if she needs to. She tried to check her swing on that, Scott, and just it hit it. She smiled. That's kind of...
Would have been nice if she did a little pop-up there.
Yeah. And that's a ball outside.
Also critical to keep it from going to the backstop here. That lead runner is getting a really good secondary lead out there.
Right. That's it. a strikeout for Still. I don't know why she's
Nicely
walking
placed.
because it's only 2 outs. So let's go to the replay on this one, and look at that. She kind of froze her on an inside corner. So
that's her unhittable pitch. We had a big strikeout on Monday against Spalding.
you got to be careful here with Barley, right?
Yes.
So she got a base hit right up the middle. So if I'm Gifford, I think I'm going to shade a little bit towards second base. There you go. And that's a fair ball. That's a fair ball. This is trouble for Goffstown. Run is going to score. Another one's coming home. And 2 runs are going to score for Bedford. That was a double right down the line. So a double for Erica Barley. And that'll give Bedford, let's look at this one, right past Liv Brennan. And, unfortunately, the way our camera angle is, Butch Gifford is not Gumby with the camera. He can't get that line. But that gives Bedford a 2-run lead with 2 outs here. And in steps Maddie Freitzel. She was hit by a pitch, her first at bat. She's very close to the plate, in my opinion. So she got hit. Remember the last time? I was like, she didn't really move.
She's kind of leaning out over the plate.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of a way to intimidate a pitcher. And that's a home run, folks. That is gone goodbye. And that is a 2-run home run for Maddie Freitzel. And quickly, Bedford now has opened up a 4-run lead. And let's take a look at this one again, if we can. Here comes the pitch, and this thing was quick. And you're exactly right. And that ball left yard in about 3 seconds. And you can see kind of like, Goffstown bench not loving that one. No doubt about that. So, but you know what? You got to fight back here. And
hopefully it's a recipe from what we did on Monday and Wednesday. We were down 4 on Monday, down 5 yesterday. But
right. It's kind of what we chatted about. It's like you got to keep the pitches low on these 3, 4, 5 hitters. Low. Not high.
Yeah, and when there's runners on base like that, you're going to really have to be careful with pitching to 3, 4, 5. That one's right in her wheelhouse.
So Morgan Freitzel has a 2-0 count, and all these runs scored with 2 outs. And that's now a 3-0 count.
That home run may have shook her up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it did. But you know what? If you're going to walk one, this is the one to walk. And I kind of agree with the strategy here because in terms of the next batter, you struck her out. So I think what you want you got to really think long and hard about your strategy. And I think so now they're going to be talking about this. So last at bat, LeMay struck out. Let's see what Coach Fleming, I'd like to know what he's talking about to his players. You're going to have to brush this off, Scott. This is only the second inning, and it's only 4 runs. So hopefully he's talking to them about the last couple of games where, hey, you were down in these last 2, you came back, don't give up, keep fighting, we'll get some runs at the bottom, let's get this out.
Yeah, we've had 1 at bat, so we're capable of putting up some runs. Like you said, there's 2 outs. Got to bear down and just get out of this inning. Come back in and try to score a couple.
So now it's number 5, Carly LeMay. And she can do it. Kylie can definitely. She can get this batter out. And fouls that one off. She had a good swing on that one, yeah. But she's swinging late, which is kind of weird. That ball's hit sharply to Gifford. Throws it over to first, and that'll do it. So Kylie still bears down and gets that final out of the inning, but not until Bedford puts up 4 runs on a double with 2 RBIs by Erica Barley, and then a 2-run home run by Freitzel. So just good at bats. And I think, going forward, they just need to recognize, who are the potent bats here. So
right.
Barley and the 2 Freitzel sisters
right.
are the ones that you really got to watch out for. And if you need to, walk them.
And I think if you see them come up with particularly an open base,
walk
that's
them.
probably
Exactly.
what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because at this point, that's the part of the lineup that can really do some damage.
I agree with you. So we're going to head into the the bottom of the second inning, and leading off will be Kaylee Molen. And she's been hitting as of late, and we just got to get runners on base here if we're Goffstown. And we've had good production from the lower part of the lineup as of late, so they just need to kind of get some runners on and just chip away at this, right? Just chip away, get a couple of runs.
Kelly's been really hitting that sweet spot in right center.
Yeah.
And, even between first and second base. And she seems to go with the pitch nicely and, not try to yank it. Just, go with the pitch, and she hits a nice line drive.
We were joking, what was it, several games ago, and about, I think it was one of your daughter hit a home run. We're talking about ice cream, and I talked to Kevin Mullen, her dad, and he said if she hits a home run, we're getting pizza. So, and I'm holding him to it. That pitch is in the dirt, and you know what? So far, it hasn't been tremendous control from the Bedford pitcher. So I think Goffstown needs to, with the exception of Tegan Coyle, just go deep into the count a little bit. Let's see if she can pitch strikes.
And you want to see a few pitches against your first lefty that you faced all year.
Yeah.
She's got kind of a herky-jerky wind-up, so you need to see that a few times.
So Mullen's got a 2-0 count. And she hits the ball sharply in the hole, and that'll be a base hit for Mullen. She turns the corner, and she gets the first hit of the game actually, it was a bunt hit in the first by Emily Peterson. That'll be the second hit of the game for Goffstown. But a runner at first with Bree Page. Let's see if they try to bunt her over. But, I'll tell you, Bree Page has done a real good job hitting. I just have her swing away. Maybe show bunt, right? Show bunt. And then swing away.
She's been spraying a lot of line drives.
And she hits the ball in the hole as well. So it's runners at first and second. I like the show bunt, and I say that because it brings the third baseman and the first baseman in. Gets them moving. And that's why showing bunt, is very helpful. So another hit for Bree Page, and in steps Alex Page. And let's see if this is this might be a bunt situation. And that's in there for a ball. Oh, I thought that looked pretty good, Scott.
Me too. I
really did. I thought that was over the plate.
Just looking for her to bring up her right arm on that one.
And then she hits the ball to.
Oh, and that ball's passed too.
She should go. She's not going. So she was held at third. So I don't know. We'll have to ask the official scorer on that one.
So a couple balls have.
I'm thinking that's an error on that play.
Bounced off the shortstop's glove.
So we're going to give that one an error to the shortstop.
And sometimes
Third base. I'm sorry.
Sometimes those slower balls are harder to handle than the ones that are hit sharply. And it looked like she got caught in an in-between hop on that one.
So we have a pinch runner. Is Sarvella? Saya Sarvella is at first base runner with no outs. Her sister is at bat. Leah Sarvella.
And this is where we need to take advantage. Bases loaded, nobody out. We can get right back in this ball game right here.
And she's been hot as of late, so. And she pops it up. And she drops it.
They can run.
And we get lucky on that one. I'm going to give that one an E on that one as well.
So that should be.
That should have been an infield fly, I thought. But
and I don't know what the coach is thinking on that one. That should be an infield fly rule.
So what do we give? I'm giving that an E3. Fair enough. I mean, that was catchable. What do you think?
I think so. I don't know if she...
Tegan Coyle steps in. Bases still loaded. Goffstown now picks up 1 run. So this is exactly what Goffstown needed. You want to get back in this one psychologically, too. In the dirt. Great stop by the catcher.
So hopefully her luck will turn around. She had 2 smashed hits that were just inches foul on one and 2 feet foul.
Yeah, LeMay has had 2 good stops back there. And there's Coyle. That's going to drop. Who is running? Okay, I'm just curious. That's not very good base running, I have to say. You had to go at least a 1/3 down there on that one, and she almost got out on a force out. So, but Goffstown picks up another run by a single by Coyle. And that's now Goffstown has their 2nd run. And I say that not to be overly critical, but you got to be careful because on that one, I mean, you have the advantage on that, Scott, because you're at second base. You can read the ball. It's a little different sometimes when the ball is kind of behind you. But in that situation, she's got to go like probably about a 1/3, and then as soon as she knows that the ball is going to drop, she's got to go.
And you know, I got to be honest with you, I'm really surprised about this quick pitching change because even though we have a rally going here, we really had some seeing eye hits on that one, and a couple, like 3 of the 4 should have been made for successful outs.
I would agree. Well, you said it. I mean, we kind of scored it up here on our own. I mean, we had 2 errors. You know, one at third base, one at first base. So they yanked her relatively quickly. And you're right. Even the other hits were like kind of right through the, you know, in the hole type of thing. They weren't like super sharply hit.
So it looks like she's a little bit wild here in warm up. So they may be, you know, good to maybe take a strike and take a look.
So she's the first base. That's Maddie Freitzel.
And, you know, when both seasons are on the line, that can cause you to, you know, have a little bit more of a quick hook.
Okay.
But I'm surprised it came that fast.
Yeah, I am too. So Peterson bunted on her first at bat. I tell you, it depends if they do like a suicide type situation.
It is a force.
Yeah. She hits it strong to the shortstop who throws home at the force out as an out. Nice play by the shortstop for Bedford. That was number 24, Erica Barley. That was sharply hit and just made a really great play for the force out.
They have nowhere to put Shannon here. We got bases loaded, 1 out, and he's going to come talk to the pitcher.
So that's a 6-2 put out on Peterson. And Gifford now, bases loaded. So this is somebody that, you know,
can turn this game around quickly.
Yeah, I mean, one poke and you know, you're up by 2. But I have seen some strange stuff in my life, and I'm telling you, you know, she could get intentionally walked and drive in 1 run here. I mean, I've seen it happen.
In the 2nd inning, I'll take a free run.
I'm curious here. This one will be interesting.
He may have said, you know, just pitch around her, but we're about to find out.
Yeah. So bases are loaded for Shannon Gifford. And that's right down the middle. She takes one. On deck is the number 9, Watterson, who walked her last at bat, and they are playing so deep. Bedford is almost on the warning track. And that ball is hit to the gap. And that's going to drive in at least 1 run. So Shannon Gifford puts a ball in the gap. And had the runners got a little bit better read on that, 2 runs could have scored. But it was a tough one, I think, in fairness to the runners.
With 1 out, if there was 2 outs there, we would have got 2 runs on that.
So Gifford gets a single and drives in a run. And now it's a 4-3 game with Watterson also bases loaded, infield in with the exception of second base.
Looking to tie this game up.
LeMay has had a good game. There have been at least 6 balls in the dirt, and you get one by you, there's another run. That pitch is high for a 2-0 count.
I'd be taking a strike right
Yeah,
here.
so we got Coyle at third base, Peterson at second, and Gifford at first, and a 2-0 count. I think you take one.
She's a little erratic.
High, 3-0 count. There's no way she's swinging on this next one.
Ball here ties the ball game.
And that's a strike. So now Watterson will have probably the
I'm sure it should probably have the
green light, right?
If it's where she loves it.
Yeah.
If it's a close pitch, you got to make sure that it is a strike.
Oh, that one was a ball,
And
that was a run, and a little overzealous there. So 3-2 count, and this is one where, again, you got to have a productive out, like if that's going to happen.
At least a fly ball.
Yeah. Fouled off. Way to hang in there by Watterson. And we keep forgetting freshman here, okay? And I tell you, if there's one, somebody who's contributed a ton to this program in her first year is Watterson. I mean, stepped in for her sister and has contributed
Set a
so
real
much.
solid year.
Yeah. So proud. And she hits one, and that's going to be tough. That's going to drop, and that'll bring in a run. Might bring in 2 runs. Tremendous base running by Peterson. Peterson read that, and she took off. So runners now at first and second base, and now Goffstown's got a lead. But Watterson puts a single over the shortstop's head, and Peterson saw that from the get-go.
She read it. The infield was in, and they had no chance at that, and she took advantage.
And we see that replay, just tremendous speed by Peterson to score that run. So Goffstown's up by 1 now with Brennan. And Brennan is the 9th batter. The 9th batter in the inning. And it's interesting there because the infield was in, that ball lobbed over the shortstop's head. And that's that gets by the catcher her first time. That moves the runners over. And Scott, that takes away the force out. So
and
still,
also fly ball gives you a shot at a sack fly here.
So now you got Gifford at third, Watterson at second. Man, what a stop by LeMay.
So
she is earning her pay. Well, they don't get paid, but if she was, she'd be earning her pay because she has done a phenomenal job back there.
So looking for a pitch to hit here.
Fouled off behind us.
I think she had the pitch right there to hit. We'll see what she gets here on the 2-2 pitch.
So, Scott, the infield looks like they're playing at about regular type depth right now. The outfield, however, if you look at the right fielder, they're kind of playing in on her, which I think is underestimating her. She's had, like you said, 5 or 6 home runs. It's in the dirt. Catcher didn't see it.
Oh, I think that's a 3-2 count.
So that was a 3-2 count. And our scoreboard operator, Brad.
I'm not sure.
So now Mullen.
I actually think that's a 3-2 count.
No. The scoreboard was inaccurate on that one. So now in steps Mullen. Bases loaded. And that's in the dirt. So you're right, Scott. You talked about this when she was warming up, right?
Yeah.
So Goffstown needs to be patient. The infield is in, with the exception of the shortstop, who's playing deep. So shortstop is going to concede a run. Everybody else is probably going to go home. And that's a ball. At least she's missing low. You don't want to miss high. So with that walk, Goffstown has batted around. Mullen led off with a single. And that's going to drop. This would be trouble, and it is trouble. And she throws the wrong way. She should have went to second on that play. She had a force out. So a single for Mullen. That's her second one of the inning, and she drives in 1 run. And all the runners had to kind of hold up on that because it was potentially being caught.
You don't want to get doubled up when you have bases loaded.
So Bree Page, she singled in her last at bat of this inning. Man, a lot of runs being scored here.
Looking at our 11th batter of the inning already.
I think you're staying here, by the way. He's late. Bill's late, and he loses the privilege. You're here.
We'll finish out the inning.
I don't know about that. So Bree Page, and that ball's in the dirt for a 1-0 count. That's high, 2-0 count. You were so right, Scott. I mean, you talked about this. It's like, why did they yank? Why do they pull the other pitcher? It's not like she got clobbered.
And she has command.
Yeah.
This girl does not look like she has
and
command.
is the other girl
there.
out of the game? I'm just curious. Is she on the bench? Did she? And that ball's hit to the shortstop. But you got to be careful there. Nice play by Barley for the first out. I said something about second out.
Now batting Alex Page.
It'd be nice to get a couple more right here. Scratch out one more hit. They've had a fine inning right now.
Yeah.
6 runs, but I'm a little greedy. I'd like to get 2 more.
I would agree. You want to take advantage, and great stop by LeMay again.
She's doing a great job.
Yeah, I mean, she's
blocking
like
these
it's like
pitches.
textbook, and how she blocks it. That ball's hit to third, throws over to first, and that'll do it. But not before Goffstown puts a 6 spot on the board. So with that, Scott, Goffstown needed that. I mean, you put up 6 runs. Emotionally, you give up 4 in the bottom of the second, and you can almost pack it in, right? Or at least mentally, and they didn't.
I think having those 2 comebacks the last 2 games, it's built our confidence a little bit, but it was nice where those 2 games we were in the 5th, 6th inning with our comebacks. It's good to get it in the second inning to set yourself up for a little better second half of the game.
So I think the key here is, for Goffstown is know who you're pitching to. We know that Still is a capable pitcher, but I think from a coaching perspective, we have to start to pitch around numbers, 3, 4, 5. Actually, no, 2, Barley, Freitzel. That's who you got to.
2, 3, 4.
Yep, 2, 3, 4. You got to really be careful, and if need be, if you have the opportunity, maybe think about walking them. So I think we're going to see Maddie Lucantoni, and I think she hit the ball. She hit the ball, but unfortunately, what happened was there was a runner obstruction play, if you recall. So she was out on that play, but she put on a bat on it.
And that turns out to be, that was a huge play because they scored 4
in
that second inning.
Right.
It could have very easily been 2 or 3 in that first inning.
Well, you look at how both teams scored a lot of runs. So Bedford put up 4 runs pretty much after 2 outs, and it was on a long ball, a double, and a home run. Goffstown kind of did the chipping away piece, and let's not underestimate the fact that Goffstown has at least 3, 4 players who can send it out, and don't if you don't see another couple of home runs in this game. So number 8 steps in, Maddie Lucatoni.
And she's capable of driving the ball, too.
And that ball's popped up. That's a tough play. But Peterson comes all the way in, and we got to get a replay on this one. You talk about a great break on the ball by Peterson. Let's take a look at this one.
And she's had several of those in the last 2 games.
Yeah, so if you look at this, I mean, the ball's pretty high up there, but she comes in, she almost catches this ball like near the shortstop. And just tremendous speed.
She outruns that ball.
So in here is Whitney Fitzgerald. She singled. I mean, I can't say enough about how well Peterson plays center. I mean, just has been a great asset. Ooh, I like that pitch. But
I really think her confidence has gotten to the point where she's a lot more aggressive going after balls now.
Yeah. So a 1-1 count to Fitzgerald. And that ball's hit sharply, but right to Brennan. Woo, right at her. Good quick glove. Let's see if we can see a replay on this one.
2 quick outs. We'll take it.
Yeah. And bam, right at Brennan. So good camera work by our man, Butch Gifford. Got to get that guy a raise.
Be nice for a shutdown 1-2-3 inning here.
And that ball's hit. That's a single to, that was not well played, unfortunately. That's going to be a double.
And that might be a little bit of that wet grass.
You got it. It skipped
so,
right over. And you know what? It skipped right over her shoulder on that.
So that ball hits the wet grass and just takes off.
Yeah.
But the important thing is we still have an opportunity to shut it down with no damage.
Yeah.
So this would be a big out to keep the momentum on our side.
And this is Buchanan, Elise Buchanan, 33. And that's a strike down the middle.
Kylie seems to be getting her groove a little bit better at this inning. You're seeing balls that are more at the knees. And when
I agree.
she's inside at the knees, that's a tough pitch to hit.
Man, that's her third
Wow.
hit batsman. Man. And she hit her the last time at bat, by the way.
And they must be leaning out
They
over that
are
plate.
leaning out over the plate. They are. And I don't know if we can see it from maybe the center field camera.
But there is forces at first, second, and third now.
And that's a pop-up, and Brennan is right there for the third out of the inning. So Bedford threatens, but a great pitching by Kylie Still. And Goffstown retains its 2-0. I'm sorry, it's a 2-run lead over Bedford as we head into the bottom of the third. Goffstown is winning 6-4.
And we need to just keep pouring it on right now.
I agree. I think you have to.
Because they're capable of putting up some runs.
Right.
So we need to just continue the momentum, hopefully get that leadoff hitter on, and see if we can work out another 2 or 3 run inning.
So leading off for Goffstown, let me see who we got here. I think, is it one of the Page sisters or is it Cervella? I lost track on my book.
I believe we have Sarvella leading off.
Yeah. So it's interesting, probably the reason why we were chatting about, hey, would Peterson try to steal back in that first inning? Probably the catcher's arm is, if she's as good as she is stopping the ball.
They're respecting it.
They're respecting the arm. So Leah Cervella, she got on in an error, or at least we called it an error, in the bottom of the second to kind of, that's a ball. And she gets underneath that one. That's back out of play. And on deck is Tegan Coyle. So after this, we go back to the top. Got some great views today by our center field camera. And that hits her.
So
that hits her. So Cervella gets a hit by pitch. And you can see this on the replay. She tries to jump out of the way, but she gets hit probably on the foot from what it looked like. I tell you, Scott, I am loving this live television, just the 3 different cameras, and we've got a screen here that we can see, and that's a strike down the middle. So, I cannot thank GTV and Adam McCune and Broden McCune and our cameraman Butch. This is kind of crazy from a broadcaster's perspective for high school softball. And was a ball away for
1-1 count.
Yep. So the infield is kind of like so the outfield, Scott, they're kind of playing in a way.
They obviously have not seen Tegan's shots that have been going over outfielders' heads.
They haven't heard my voice, right? Because she has had some pokes. 3-0, so good eye by Coyle.
And, like, it still, to me, I think that coach should have allowed that first pitcher to work her way out of that jam.
Yeah, I agree.
This girl is all over the place.
Fouls that one off. So a full count, and Tegan had a full count in her first at bat, if you remember. But in her last at bat, when she struck out her last at bat, she had an RBI single. Runner at first is Cervella. That's high. That'll be a walk.
First 2 runners aboard.
Well, you know what? This is an opportune time to bunt and to advance runners. And you probably have the person who can bunt the best on the team up right now.
Yeah, I think a bunt on the first base line would be good.
Just got to get a good jump if you're Cervella at seconds. You don't want to get the lead runner if Freitzel throws to the shortstop. Beautiful bunt to advance the runners. Nice scoop by the second baseman on that. It was a low throw.
She saved a run right there.
Yeah, but a great play by number 2. I think that was number 2. That was Catherine Sasso. But a sacrifice bunt for Peterson to advance the runners, and now Gifford. I walk her.
I'm almost thinking this is.
Why wouldn't you just say take the base?
And they do.
They do. So Gifford is intentionally walked.
This gives Taylor Watterson another opportunity.
And Watterson had a base hit. She's walked her first at bat. Had a base hit her second at bat for 2 RBIs. So.
And we have the bases loaded again. So
it's so much chatter up here we can barely hear ourselves with the Hall of Famers behind us.
A couple back-to-back hits here will put us in good position.
I really thought that Wake Stillman was going to fire up the grill and put some hot dogs. And Bill Ruel, like another Hall of Famer. High for ball 1. So let's talk about their defense, Scott. Looks like third and first are playing in, but not up the middle.
That surprises me.
Yep.
That surprises me because you're down 2 already.
Yeah.
We got bases loaded, and
so you're saying you're conceding another run.
Yes.
So. In the dirt. Great stop by LeMay. And that's got to have been like a dozen of these. 3-0 count. And LeMay has single-handedly, I think, prevented at least, 6 really tough pitches that would have easily been. That's a strike down the middle. Good job by Watterson. And if I tell you, I might take another one.
We'll see. The last time the 3-1 was a little bit low.
Yeah, she's had difficulty, though, with her control, Scott. And it's hit sharply to shortstop.
And that is going to be a run.
Yep. So, but she gets the lead runner. So that's a great play by the shortstop to throw it over to Freitzel. So Barley to Freitzel to get that second out. And that's an important one. So it gives Goffstown a run, yes, but it cuts down on that lead runner.
Now batting for the Blue, Brandon.
2 outs. It'd be nice to, anytime you have runners on with 2 outs, it's nice to bring in the runs.
Whoa, another masterful stop by the catcher. I feel bad for her. I mean, she is just working so hard back there. So now runners at second and third with Brennan, potentially to drive in another 2. And that was a little bit low. She wanted that one back. 1-1 count with 2 outs.
Yep.
I tell you, I'm Bedford. My MVP so far is the catcher, LeMay. I mean,
absolutely
unbelievable. That's a sky ball. Let's see what happens here. That's out of play. Clearly out of play. And it hits the bleachers on the Goffstown side. Butch Gifford, you know, he's getting up there in age, so there's no way he was going to throw that camera out the window to see if he can see it. I think Broden would have had that. He's a lot younger, more nimble. 1-2 count to Brennan. Opportunity to bring in 2 more, at least maybe 1 more. In the dirt. So we got a 2-2 count?
2-2 count.
2-2-2. This is big. You know, you want 3 runs now, but the opportunity to get a 5-run lead, and Brennan stays in there, fouls it back.
Who's going to win this battle?
I like her fight. A lot of chatter on the Goffstown bench. Not so much on the Bedford side. Another phenomenal stop by LeMay.
And we go full count.
Well, there is a base that is empty.
So runners aren't going
if
anywhere.
She walks. The key here is if it's a run, if it's in the dirt, you got to take off. Oh, that was on the inside part. I don't necessarily agree with that one, but I'm not wearing the blue uniform today.
That one was at the ankles.
So that one was low and inside, I thought, but we're going to see maybe a replay on that one.
Here comes the replay.
I don't know. I'm going to ask if we can see another replay. We have the ability to do that if it's possible from the center field viewpoint. Ooh. I'm just curious if we can see a center field view of that play. Maybe we don't have it. So anyway, Goffstown picks up another run. They lead 7-4 as we head into the top of the 4th. And I tell you, this is great. Multiple cameras. This is the way it should be. Every game, for crying out loud. We just need more people. Right, Broden? What? So, Broden, I'm just curious. There's this highlight that's going all over. It's like a Facebook, YouTube sensation. It's a volleyball thing where your dad, you go up for like the spike, and your dad, who's got you by like 55 years, whatever, he like blocks you, right? And then he does like this crazy dance.
So the thing is, in volleyball, you cannot touch the net
or go under. So he cheated.
He did both.
He cheated. He touched the net and he foot faulted?
Yes.
Okay. See, that's not talked about. And I think maybe, you know, due to his prowess at editing, maybe there was, it almost, maybe there's something not there. Exactly. I don't know. You're supposed to be proud of your son. I'm not sure why he did that, but. And that's a ball inside to, it was funny because that looked exactly like the pitch to Brennan, and that was a ball, but hey, that's the way it goes, right?
But it is nice to see her come up with nobody on base this time.
Well, okay. Clearly, you want to pitch to her, you know, obviously, but you got to be careful with these next 3 hitters. And that is a pop-up. And
plenty of room for left field.
And it's caught by Watterson. So it was a pop-up to the left fielder. Yep. And now Freitzel. I'm going to walk her or I'm going to just be really careful with her.
I would keep it away from her and not let her get her arms out in front of this one.
And they're playing really deep.
But you can tell why she got hit. She is over the top of that plate.
And I don't know if we can show this. If we can get a center field shot, we want to see where she is. Whoa, it's coming back our way. Yeah, I'm curious to see if we can. We do have another camera in center field. I think that Freitzel is kind of leaning over that plate. And that kind of intimidates a pitcher to a degree.
I mean, the arms are out over the plate.
Yeah, that was outside. Yeah. So right now we're seeing that camera angle, Scott, and you know, and that's a ball. So it's a 3-1 count, and I guess you know what the coach Fleming is talking to Still, saying, "Listen, this is the part of the order that has beaten us. So let's be very careful with them." Pretty big, good-sized gap there. That's right down the middle.
Pitch.
Man, no fear there, huh?
No.
So Freitzel was taking on that one. Now it's a full count. See what Still does. And that's a pop-up. And that is going to be out of play. Way out of play.
They can reach for that.
I don't think they'll reach on that one. So 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Goffstown leads 7-4. We got a full count on Maddie Freitzel. And that's another pop-up. That is playable. And the catcher can't make the play, unfortunately. That would have been the 2nd out of the inning. So hopefully that mistake won't come back and haunt us, because that was a playable ball. Sharply hit.
Another foul
Bam.
ball.
Yeah, but she crushed that one.
Yeah.
Ahead of it, but now a 3-2 count.
Like to see one of those ones at the knees right here.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep it up to her.
So it looks like they got some rec ball here tonight, but they're not going to be playing for a while. And that's a smart play. You know, she's kind of beating you. And then the next batter too, her sister. So a walk to Maddie Freitzel, and now this is Morgan Freitzel.
And again, runner for the pitcher.
Yeah, and you got to hope, you know, that situation when we had a potential out there that no damage is done here.
Right.
So she has walked her last 2 at-bats. This is Morgan. She is the 3rd baseman. That ball's hit real deep, but that's going foul, folks. That's a foul ball.
Actually stayed in the park. Right in the corner.
No, do not. Listen, no secrets in here.
So we got an 0-1 count with 1 out in the 4th.
He'll show his own football. Like, go ahead.
A 1-1 count. High, 2-1. The last thing that you want to do if you're Goffstown, you've quieted this Bedford dugout. You don't want to give them anything to kind of cheer about here. So
right.
I see that the 3-1 count, and looks like the pitches are being called in by the bench for Goffstown. That's a foul.
Should get an out right here.
Good
And
play.
Nice
play
there.
by
You don't throw it
Mullen.
around.
Yeah. If I'm Coyle, I hold on to that ball. But a real nice play by Mullen, because she had to. I think she tried to maybe tag her, but she saw that wasn't going to happen. So
runner moves up, but we'll gladly take the 2nd out.
yeah, that's a 3-4 put out. Runner now at second base is Freitzel. Now it's Carly LeMay, who has just had such a wonderful job behind the plate. She fouls one back onto the Butch Gifford roof. So we got 2 outs with an 0-1 count to the catcher. And she pops one
up.
real high up, and it's called by Brennan. And she makes the put out. So that'll do it for Bedford in the top of the 4th inning. So, we were talking a little bit before, Scott, about, this whole thing about Adam McCune, Broden McCune, father, son type of thing. And I'm wondering if we can bring up the highlight here. Oh, here we go. So this is it. This is the replay here where here comes Broden with the spike. And, again, you got old man Adam McCune, and then he does, the dance. So he kind of, he blocks, his son. It must have been crazy, crazy. So the fun that we have here at GTV.
He zoomed in on that.
Broden, don't feel bad. It's okay. You're still going to get paid.
And Goffstown scored in back-to-back innings here, and all of a sudden Kylie's starting to settle in a little bit.
Yeah.
She's had 2 scoreless innings in a row, so time to just keep the wagon moving and
I agree.
pour across 1 or 2 more runs at least.
So as we're in between innings here, I want to thank our public address announcer, Brad Parkhurst. And Brad does a lot of stuff behind the scenes here at Goffstown High School. Just a tremendous volunteer in the Goffstown community. Also part of Goffstown Television. Does Parks and Rec. You name it, Brad's involved in it. And we're going to have number 10 leading off Mullen. And she made a great play in that last inning on that. It looked like it was interesting because remember that ball that went on the third baseline where it went foul? That one wasn't. That one just died.
And that one stayed in play.
That stayed. So good job by Mullen who stuck with it. And as she picked the ball up, the runner kind of had gone by her, so she couldn't tag her. So we're heading to the bottom of the 4th. Mullen had, and that's another hit to the shortstop up between her legs. We're going to look back at our all-star crew here, and we are saying a what on that one? An error?
Right through the 5 hole.
Okay, thank you.
Couldn't be anything else.
So that would be an E6.
And let's just keep this rolling.
And here comes Bree Page. Great stop again by LeMay. You know, that's unfortunate for Barley because, you know, she's been pretty solid at shortstop, but it just shows that this stuff happens. You know, it's
they're high school kids.
Yeah, luckily, just no runs were scored there. It's sharply hit to third. Great play to get the lead runner, but she drops it back in the bag. But, oh, my God, Mullen almost overran the bag. Screaming at her. We're not going to show that on replay.
Another fortunate play.
But I tell you,
Goffstown's favor.
All I know is that the Goffstown bench was giving Mullen the grief on that one.
And you know what? That was hit so sharply to third. She had to wait.
Oh, my goodness.
For the second baseman to get there, and I think she caught her on the move.
So now Alex Page. That's high.
What? That's a strike?
That was a strike? No. That wasn't a strike. That had to have been a ball.
It was a strike.
That ball's hit sharp to the shortstop. And Barley holds on to it.
She called that first one a strike.
Wow.
So Cervella steps in with runners at first and second with only 1 out.
Now batting, Leah Cervella.
Another great stop. The runners are going to advance
here. Have a shot at her third, and she's safe. She moves up quickly. Good read by Kaylee.
She made up for it. She made up for it.
Why am I standing at shortstop?
So now we got Cervella with runners at second and third.
And I like seeing the traffic on the bases every inning.
Way ahead of that one. 1-1. That's you got it, Scott, because it forces people to think, forces the fielders to think about what should I do. She hits the ball hard. That's going to be some problems in the gap.
Two runs are going to score
bring
in this
in 2
one.
runs. Cervella with a stand-up double to right center field. That was crushed. And that brings in 2 runs, 9-4. And, you know, Coach Matt Fleming, Scott, was telling me that Cervella, the last 2 or 3 games, has been hitting it hard. And she demonstrated it.
That's kind of her power alley, right center.
Yeah.
She had 2 shots yesterday right in that same spot.
So in will come Tegan Coyle. Let's see what they have in store for her. But Goffstown pulls ahead with a 9-4 lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And you're right. Just traffic on the bases every single inning. So our crack crew here is telling us that Cervella had 2 doubles yesterday, and she had a double today. So
And
her bat is coming alive. And you know what? When you get that type of production from your 9-hitter, that's great. So in steps Coyle.
I think someone's going to lose this one time through the lineup.
That's a pop-up, and that's playable to the third baseman. Calls it and caught by number 23, Morgan Freitzel. So I noticed that Teagan jumps on first pitches, and I think when you've seen what's been going on with this pitcher, you kind of don't want to do that. So Peterson with runner at second, and another awesome stop.
It's like an instant replay. Every batter with the catcher here blocking balls in the dirt.
Yeah. And that's outside to Peterson, 2-0 count. With Cervella with good speed at second base. Goffstown leads 9-4, bottom of the fourth.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow. Wow, I wonder if we can see that one again, but that looked like it was inside, didn't it? And low?
That's her spot, apparently.
Yeah. High and outside.
But,
you know why?
I mean,
look where the umpire sets up.
Yeah.
So she's setting up on the left shoulder, on the inside part of the plate. So she's getting a better look there. And
so, fortunately there wasn't 2 strikes on that one because honestly, where that ball is, they're not going to make contact with it.
Yeah.
And it's at your ankles and inside.
I agree. So 3-2 count now. That ball's hit.
That ball's a
That's
shot.
Could be gone.
Home run.
A home run for Emily Peterson.
Beautiful.
A 2-run home run. Is that her first home run?
That is.
That is her first ever home run for the sophomore and center fielder.
Beautiful.
Emily Peterson. She is greeted by her teammates, but a whopping shot by Peterson all over that. And now it's 11-4. As Goffstown leads, and let's look at the reaction from the Goffstown bench.
That's awesome. As
they run out to give her a pat on the back. That was an unbelievable shot by Peterson.
It sure is.
And we're told that is her first home run of varsity softball.
Be ready for a back-to-back here.
And they're going to pitch around Gifford. You got to. I mean. Well, I'm hoping the paper will write a good article today. That ball is crushed to the shortstop again, and Gifford goes out. So that is a ground out.
Another great inning for Goffstown.
By Gifford, but they put up a few more runs, and now they're pulling ahead with a 7-run lead as we head into the top of the 5th inning. But, wow, Scott, Peterson, what a story there. So the story of that inning was Cervella. So where you would not expect your power, right? Cervella, this is now the second game in a row with doubles. And you look at Peterson, who's not known. She's known for bunting.
Right.
And she just crushes one over the center field fence. So,
well, that's the first time that she kind of had a little bit of an uppercut swing on it. She squared that up, and
we just seeing the replay here on that home run. And just, wow, what an inning for Goffstown. Let's see. This is where Bedford needs to, kind of get back into it. And maybe, chip away. We're going to see, let's see, I think it's Lucatoni Maddie Lucatoni, I believe, will be leading off the 5th. And she's put the bat on the ball in her 2 at-bats. And I noticed, we saw this. So in that last inning, Coach Fleming pitched around the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. So that was smart. But just a very, just unpredictable, right? I mean, like, I don't know if I would have predicted, Cervella. That thing was hit hard. And then Peterson. I mean, what a great home run.
2 beautiful shots.
Yeah, so it's something she won't forget. And the beauty of it, it's going to be captured here on GTV in perpetuity.
Good for her.
For her and her family. And that ball's hit well. That'll be a single, and so it gets by Watterson again. And
she's going for 3.
Okay, that was not a good play by Goffstown. So the ball was a single, but after that, it's a 2-base error after that. So you don't want to give Bedford any life there. So I'm going to give a single and a 2-base error on Watterson. And in fairness to Watterson, I'm not sure if she's so much a left fielder and that ball is, she holds her, and then she skies it, but great play by Mullen. Kaylee Mullen does the job. She catches the ball up and down and gets the out. So high throw. Let's see this one again. And there you go. She goes ladder. She grabs it. So nice play by Brennan to check that runner at third for that first out. So Catherine Sasso, she's doubled her last at bat. And that's a strike. So consistency by the umpire there. That was an inside pitch, but she's calling those inside pitches for strikes. Ooh, that one looked good.
Similar pitch.
But my friend Bill says not so much, Scott. That's a pop-up.
And that's not going to move the runner.
No, Gifford calls it.
Nice job. See if we can come all the way back without allowing the run here.
Well, and also, Scott, I mean, you've got a 7-run lead. You don't really pay much attention to that runner at third. You're just looking for the outs. And listen, I give Brennan a lot of credit because she checked the runner back.
Just outside.
So we got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And number 33 at the plate, Elise. And that's a strike. Buchanan. 1-1 count to her. Tegan Coyle's playing really deep at second. That was outside by a mile. 2-1 count to Buchanan. Then on the top of the order on deck is Amelia Edwards.
Looking to shut it down right here.
And she swings through that one for even it up at 2-2.
See if she handles the high one again here.
Hits it to Gifford. Throws it over to Mullen. Nice shotgun arm, and that'll do it. So a nice job by the Grizzlies there. And Scott, that's kind of what they needed. Just try to keep that momentum going.
Even keel on defense.
Yep, exactly. So that's a put out. That's a 6-3 put out by Gifford. And you know what? You can't speak more highly of the way that the team has played today. When you go down 4 runs in the bottom of that second inning, for me, I've been doing a lot of these games this season, and it's kind of the bad games have started that way. But their resilience, and you mentioned it, the last 2 games, right? They've gone down and they've fought back. So there's no doubt that the bats exist in the lineup for Goffstown, and they are definitely working hard today.
I think on Monday against Spalding, they were, a top 6 team. And when they had us by 4 runs, when we proved that we could stay in the game, chip away, and then get over the top, some momentum shifted in this team.
Yeah. Well,
they kind of believe in themselves a little more.
I think it's right. And hitting is a lot about confidence, and seeing the ball a little better. And so Watterson's going to lead off in the bottom of the 5th with 11-4 lead.
Still spraying the ball.
Yeah.
But
somebody mentioned, maybe behind me, the catcher LeMay. She's very deep in the box, catcher box.
So it lends itself to some balls bouncing in front of you.
Not only does it lend itself, but maybe she knows that her pitcher has control issues, and it gives her a little bit of an advantage in that respect.
It a little longer.
Yeah. That's in the dirt too. 3-0 count to Watterson. That's high.
That's way
Walked on 4 pitches. So she's walked twice today, Watterson, with a single, and then it was a 6-5 put out. So she's been on base quite a bit today. And Liv Brennan steps up. And as you know, she's one poke away too. And that's going to advance the runner. So there's only so much that LeMay can do, to be honest.
Right.
And
a little anxious on that one.
You got it.
Another runner in scoring position. Let's see what we can do here.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
my goodness. You know, I don't complain a whole lot. Actually, I do complain a whole lot, but that pitch was, like, ridiculous.
At her eyes.
There was no way.
She doesn't.
That's popped up. That should be playable. Who's calling it? And the third baseman calls it, Freitzel, and she gets to put a good job on the communication there. And that'll be 1 out. So a pop-up to the third baseman.
I think there was a case of she doesn't know what she's supposed to swing at. The inning before at her ankles, that one at her eyes.
That's high and away for Mullen. And Mullen has had, you know, she's had a good game. 2 singles, and then she got on an error. She made a great defensive play on that foul, and then on that stretch. And that's going to get away. So now, you know, this is probably exhaustion by LeMay at this point because it's been about 50 pitches in the dirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think this coach sealed their fate when he switched the pitchers.
I tend to agree with you.
I mean, she's looking over at the bench every time she throws one in the dirt.
Yeah. Now, did they take that pitcher out, or is she in the field?
She's actually at first now.
Right, so you can bring her back in.
You know, and I mean, you're never going to say it's too late, but I'd do it right now if I was him. But he's just kind of sitting there watching, so.
So we got runners at first and third base for Page.
And that's in the dirt
and
as well.
Runner indifference. So a base hit for Page here would bring in 1 or 2. So.
I was just checking you guys out to see if you're on your toes.
Wow.
You know what? I'm gonna lend my glasses to Blue downstairs, man. Wowzy. That's the same exact pitch almost.
Yeah.
Whatever. 2-1. I think she's looking to go to the trestle quickly after this game.
Yeah.
In the dirt, nice stop.
And, you know, to be honest with you, when you're throwing pitches in the dirt, one after the next,
right?
You don't even earn the close pitches.
Yeah. Right, I agree with you.
You know, most umpires, like, if you're that wild.
So we're going to switch pitchers again.
They have to make you throw a strike.
But why do you do this, like, right in the middle of an at-bat? I don't get that.
Wow.
I don't get that. A 3-1 count, why do you do it in the middle of the at-bat? And that's what we talked about. You know, the godfather of softball, Bruce Rand, kind of echoed your sentiments, was that she got pulled really quickly.
Fast.
Again, a couple of seeing eye hits, and 2 errors, right?
Right.
And she was pulled.
And we didn't really square the ball up once against her.
So, so anyway, yeah, this is. But the game started late, and it's 6 o'clock here, and.
Right.
Yeah, so we're talking up here about Emily Peterson's home run. I think that's her mom. You should go get the ball and you sign it. Kind of important thing to do. So, Bree Page.
3-1 count. See what she does. And, you know, it's almost what you thought would happen, coming in with a 3-1 count.
Yeah. Well, it's almost unfair to do that to somebody. I mean, if anything, let the other person walk her, and then so now Alex Page steps up, and she's got the bases loaded with 1 out, and both Page sisters have hit the ball well, and that's going to be a productive out. That's a sac fly.
And she's going to have to hustle on this one.
She missed her, I thought. She got her? I don't know if we get a replay on that one. I thought she might have missed her on the tag, but
looks like she nipped her.
She didn't get a great jump, and that's just a good throw.
Yeah, the glove move.
Yeah, yeah. So nice throw by the right fielder.
It's definitely worth a chance. You know,
yeah,
you're
I agree.
up 11-4 there.
Buchanan, though, had a good throw. And you know something? Let's give credit to the catcher who actually went up the line to get the ball rather than staying by the the plate. So and that's kind of the defense that Bedford need. I mean, they're down by 7. They're certainly not out of it. But you don't make that play, it's yet another run. So. So still will be pitching to number 12 to lead off the top of the 6th, and is it 12? Is that a pinch hitter for us for Bedford? I don't know the name of number 12.
So this will be her first at bat.
Rankin,
and they're down to 6 outs. So
yeah,
coach is looking for a little spark here, and they're going to bring someone off the bench.
So they're going to take out Amelia Edwards and put in Rankin, I think. Is that what we said, Brad? Carolyn Rankin. What do you get the balls there, Bruce? What are you doing? So they're not going to play till like 8. Where this thing was going. So we have a new batter, number 12, Carolyn Rankin will take the place of Amelia Edwards, who is your left fielder. Seeing if they can get something started here, and this is where they got to make some hay, Scott. I mean, it's the 1, 2, 3 hitters.
Game's getting late for them.
And she swings through that one. So that was probably Still's fastest pitch in the game.
She was definitely
so new batter comes in and she sees the fastest pitch. And just basically says the same thing.
I'm saying, right side, you better be ready. If there's contact there, I think it's going to go to the right side.
And that's fouled off onto the roof. So it looks like the junior varsity game is over, and now those players are coming over to cheer on their respective teams. It's about 6:10 p.m. That popped up, called by Brennan. So it's a pop-up by Caroline Rankin.
And here comes the heart of their order again. Barley.
Yeah, this is where you just got to be careful, Infield is playing kind of deep. That's gone. Goodbye. A home run for Rank. That was Barley.
You knew that was out when she hit it.
So that's a home run for Erica Barley, and she's joined at home plate by her teammates. And you gotta like that. You know, you're down by 7 runs, and they come up and they've got some spunk. And
Still showing spirit.
right. And but if you're Goffstown, you only got 1 out here. You got another dangerous 2 hitters coming up at least, and you got to play smart here.
Yeah, we want to kind of survive these next couple of hitters, and then
you don't want to. I don't think you want to challenge Maddie Freitzel. I mean, she's got a home run. She was hit by a pitch in the first, her first at bat, hit a 2-run homer, and then walked. So they definitely were careful with her, and I would do the same thing. I'd just be real careful. And she goes after a high one.
Yep, she was anxious on that one.
I think I want to pitch her, like low, not high.
Oh, and she reaches that one.
This is very uncharacteristic of her because, I mean, of their hitters, Barley I think makes the most contact, but she's been zeroed in on the ball, and she zeroed in on that one, and that's gone.
0-2 pitch.
So another home run, and again,
kind of
it's not like we didn't say be careful of your 2, 3, and 4 hitters, because they're the only ones who are doing anything. So.
I mean, the only thing,
shame on us.
The only thing I think they would, second guess is they had her reaching on high and outside pitches.
Yeah.
And you get a 0-2 count. You don't want to put something in the wheelhouse.
But Scott, we were saying to be really careful with your 2, 3, and 4 hitters, and these are your 2, 3, and 4 hitters. The 2 and 3 hitters hit a home run. Yeah. So in steps Morgan Freitzel, who's played a really solid, I think she's playing third base. So listen, it's only a 5-run game now.
We need an out right here. It stopped their momentum here.
But if you look at, Scott, what some of their players in the lower part of the batting order, they haven't done anything like crazy towards you.
Right.
But it's been these 2, 3, and 4 hitters that have really done the damage. So Bedford claws back with 2 more here in the top of 6. And I'm careful with her too.
So she has been, low on, this batter, which has helped.
Well, this batter's walked twice. Off-speed pitch. Now it's a 3-1 count. If she walks her, this is a time for Matt Fleming to go out to the circle and settle her down.
Absolutely.
That's a pop-up to Coyle.
Should be the second out.
Right there. That'll do it for a second out. And then the sun comes out. You got to use 2 hands on that. Yeah.
So 2 outs, nobody on. It's time to put this inning to bed.
And this is LeMay, who has struck out, grounded out twice.
Nice pitch.
I'm sorry, grounded out once and popped up.
And they only got the bottom of the order.
Yep. So, getting this out right here would bring the bottom third of their order up in the 7th inning.
Right.
So, this is a big out for us.
I agree. You don't want to go back around with the players that hit the home run. That's going to be another home run. Wow. Another home run by number 5.
3 home runs.
3
and 4
home runs.
batters.
And there's nothing to be laughing about here. I mean, I don't know. You can see the faces now, and on some of the infielders.
Bedford's gaining some confidence here.
Yeah.
This game is certainly not over.
It's only 3 runs.
So good job by Coach Matt Fleming. They picked up 3 runs here, and it goes back to that other inning, where you got to pick, as you said, you got to keep hitting and hitting and hitting, because this Bedford team is not quitting.
And you don't want to see their 2, 3, 4 come back up again.
And now you got Luca Toni, who has hit the ball well today. The good news is that they're 3 solo home runs. Exactly. It's like 1 3-run homer, and you just have to. But the ball has been going out of here. My goodness, in Goffstown.
And, it's kind of where the Bedford pitchers didn't have command, and they're wild all over the place. That's kind of also a lack of command there because all 3 of those were like on a tee, right? At
exactly.
Waist
right.
level.
Yeah. So here comes Luca Toni, who's had a good game. There you go. Right down the middle.
All right.
So, this game, folks, if you're not aware, this is a really must-win game for Goffstown if they want to make the playoffs. That ball is hit foul, out of play for an 0-2 count. So here's a chance for Still just to get out of this thing.
We're 0-2 again, so we got to be smart this time.
Right. Just don't put a pitch in the wheelhouse. Man, I see a lot of the guys are going out there looking for the balls, but there must have been, just like 6, 7 home runs today? It's a lot of them. What the heck was that? Just a bit outside on that one by Kylie Still.
I think a well-spotted changeup might get her.
Yeah. And that could be trouble again, but underneath it is Watterson, and that'll do it. But not before giving up 3 solo home runs. Goffstown still leads, but that has been cut to 11-7. So let's see what Goffstown can do here as we go into the bottom of the 6th inning, try to put some insurance runs on the board. But what a game this has been, Scott.
So it's like Bedford had the first rally, and then we came back with a couple of big rallies, and now Bedford's right back in this game.
But even Luca Toni, she put bat on the ball, man. That was out there.
Yeah. I mean, that was right down the middle again.
And I think what that showed to me was that, for one, obviously this Bedford team is not going down without a fight. So they're gonna in the top of the 7th, they're gonna have their bottom 3 batters. It'll be Fitzgerald, Sasso, and Elise Buchanan. So I can't read my own handwriting. So, but the thing is that if they get a couple of runners on in that top of the 7th, you're bringing up the heat again. So that's why those last couple of players that 1 home run by LeMay
that extended it.
That kind of right. It doesn't give you a whole lot of wiggle room. That's all I'm saying. So Leah Sarvella is going to lead off. She had a 2-run double.
Beautiful shot to right center.
That's high.
Even if you scratch out 1 or 2 runs here,
it matters.
It's big.
Right. So O'Donnell swings a little bit late on that one.
Pulled her head out just a little.
Yeah. So you're right. I mean, you wonder what type of game this might have been if O'Donnell didn't get scratched early, So I don't get that one. I don't know. I mean, either the ball was inside and she jumped away from it, or that was called a strike. Yes, sir.
I'm baffled.
That pitch was called a strike. Yes, sir.
So
2-2 count.
Few baffling calls.
Fouled away.
Hanks tough on that one.
I have to say something. Sarvella is like a different batter here. I mean, a quicker bat than what I've seen in the last few games. In the dirt, 3-2, and then she should have already been on base because that other one was like so far inside. So a 3-2 count by Sarvella. We got Coyle on deck. And that ball's chopped to the shortstop.
Dig.
Nice play by Barley. She's one of their better defensive players, no doubt about it. So a 6-3 put out by Sarvella.
And top of the order. Let's have some magic again.
And now you got Coyle. And Coyle's been a bit quiet today. She's got a base hit.
I think she's going to sting one right there.
That was called a ball, and that one looked pretty good to me. It's weird. In the dirt.
Well, I think what we're seeing is a different strike zone each inning.
Right.
So that makes it tough for the batters to know what to take and what to be aggressive on.
Well, I'm just saying on that Cervella at bat, it's really, really unusual.
It went off the catcher's hand after about the 75th ball. She's blocked in the dirt, and that one caught her hand. She says she's okay.
There's a warrior back there, I'll tell you. 2-0 count, 1 out.
Okay, that one looked like it was at her head level again, so.
Oh, my goodness.
Nobody knows what a strike is right now.
Man. And it's not like she ducked under it. That's a pop-up to the shortstop. That's playable, and that'll be an out. So this is what Bedford needs for their momentum. You know, they put up a 3 spot, and now if you get a 1-2-3 inning, and now Peterson. And this is another really important one, right? Because if you know,
get Gifford up.
Right, can you get Gifford up? Or, conversely, you get her out if you're Bedford, and now you have Big Gifford leading off.
Right.
And she's in a single.
Nice. So Emily follows up her home run with another safe hit.
Unbelievable game. I mean, it's another hit for her.
Just getting.
So she's had a bunt hit. She got to put out a sac bunt, home run. What a game for Emily Peterson. And now this is big. So do they pitch around Gifford or not? I say you do. There's one poke here, and it can put the game away. And they're gonna intentionally walk her, and I think that's the good move.
Wow.
Listen, if your choice is to pitch to a junior who has like a bazillion home runs, or pitch to a freshman, I'm pitching to the freshman any day of the week. So good call by the Bedford coach, in my opinion.
So Taylor just got to step up and make them pay right here.
So she's walked a couple of times, had a single, and she hits one up the middle, and
that should score. Oh, she's going to be out.
Trouble. Safe, and look where she goes. To second base, heads up base running, but what a play by Watterson. Run. That is big.
Getting one back is huge.
Yep.
Anything you can get.
So Watterson made them pay on that play. And now we got even bigger insurance runs on the bases. So Goffstown gets one back. They've got a 5-run lead here. And this is a big at-bat for Liv Brennan. She's got to be a little bit more patient at the plate, I think, Scott. She's kind of been jumping on a lot of pitches. And the unfortunate thing for her, she's up against an umpire who's calling it all over the place. So it's hard to have bat discipline.
So let's see. Well, what are we going to do here?
And that's a good strike because she kind of ducked underneath that one. I smell hamburgers. I don't know about you, but.
It's the cookout for senior day.
All right. Another strike. So Brennan's got that was 2 good pitches, I thought. So an 0-2 count. Runners at second and third. And that ball is popped up. That's playable to the shortstop, and that'll do it for Goffstown in the bottom of the 6th inning. But they pick up one insurance run on Taylor Watterson's single.
3 outs we're looking for.
So. Man. It's white smoke, and it's not a Pope. That's all I know. It's called hamburger. I don't know if Butch Gifford can maybe throw the camera on the white smoke coming on the varsity field. I don't know. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing white smoke near that red tent. Oh, we can't see it from this angle. But it's the joyous smell of hamburger. Scott, you go to the Trestle for their 2-for-1 burgers on Tuesdays?
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
2-for-1 burgers.
They have really good hamburgers, and you get 2 for the price of 1 at the Trestle on Main Street.
I like
and they're
the sound
delicious.
of that.
They've got the the famous trestle burger. And do you like chicken tenders? They've got very good chicken tenders there. They're not deep fried. They're like oven baked, but they're really tasty.
Nice.
I thought this was a non-profit.
So what makes the burger there?
Well, first of all, it's like a hand packed burger, so it's not like one of the pre-packaged ones.
Yep.
And it's just really flavorful, you know.
I'm getting hungry.
I'm starved right now, and I'm hoping that this game is over soon so I get something to eat. Hungry. Oh, there's a smoke coming again. Here we go.
We need 3 outs.
So this is Fitzgerald at the plate. Right down the middle for strike one. So Kylie has just got to, stay true to that low strike zone. And that's going to be playable to Peterson, but she got a bad jump, but she recovers. So she hesitated, got a bad jump, but she was able to recover.
And ran it down.
And I'll tell you, here's the replay on that one. She had a stutter step. She comes in on it, and then she's like, oops. But she makes the play. And you just don't want to make any of those types of errors at this point because you don't want to get those other batters up. So this is Sasso. She has had a double today. And again, this is they're leaning close in on the plate, and the Goffstown Sorvella did the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's grounded to Gifford. Throws hard. Out.
She's out. Close play.
By a half step. So Gifford had a little bit of trouble gathering that ball, but she stood with it. And again, her really strong arm made all the difference there.
And you want to shut it down right here.
I agree.
Is it number 9 hitter?
Yes, this is Buchanan.
So let's not even let it get back to the top of the order.
High. This is what she's on in her zone when it's low.
Right.
You know. There you go.
Nice pitch.
What? He called that a ball? That was a ball? Oh, I thought that was a strike. So it's a 2-0 count.
Wow.
It's a very erratic 3-0 count. I'm just seeing weirdness in terms of.
Don't think.
Well, here's the thing for Goffstown is that you walk her, you bring up your. There you go, and then she walked her on 4 pitches. So here we go, folks. Now we're going to see Caroline Rankin. So if Rankin gets on, now you're talking about the meat of your order. Right. So you really got to get this batter out because you don't want to. Strike to Rankin. So Stills just got to kind of stay poised here. Pitch strikes.
Who wants this last out?
And that gets by. It doesn't matter. That run doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We haven't had a force out at second in 7 games that I've seen. But it's okay, Bruce. You're all right, technically.
Come on, Kylie. Shut this down.
High.
Stay composed. Take a breath.
On deck is Erica Barley. She's hit a home run in her last at bat. So it's a 2-1 count.
This is the batter she wants. That's been a strike for 3 innings. No.
Okay. So we got a 3-1 count. And that's a pop-up out of play. That's out of play. And we got a 3-2 count. So this is it for Kylie Still. I mean, you want to get this batter right here.
This is where you want to.
This is it.
End this.
Because they know, Bedford knows that they got people have hit 3 home runs back to back to back. And that's a pop-up, and that should be. Brennan's got it, and that's it.
And that punches our ticket to the playoffs.
And that will, as you said, good job, Scott. That does it for Bedford. But a great game in terms of them coming back. I mean, back and forth, but still had the poise to make those last few pitches. But as we talk about the storyline here of this game, obviously you don't win without pitching, so you got to give credit to Still.
And then Emily Peterson kind of took over this game.
Emily Peterson just kind of really did a job here. So I think what we're going to do is, we don't often do this, but is it possible for us to do an interview? Or
If we can get him up here.
Oh, we can't do it down on the field?
We can't.
Okay.
We have it hooked up directly.
Oh, okay. So we won't be able to do that.
You want to get him up here?
No, we're good. It's okay. So Scott, this punches a ticket, as you said, for Goffstown. If they can win tomorrow, they'll be even a better seed. But really a great job. Very resilient. I have to be honest, I was really nervous in that bottom of the second when Bedford put up 4. And then Goffstown came back and put 6 up on the board. And I think that really changed the tenor of the game. And
I mean, they just so much resilience, because a week ago, last Thursday, we were sitting at 5-8.
Yeah.
And now we've run off 4 straight wins.
Right.
And we have punched our ticket to the playoffs. And with a little bit of momentum on our side, they get a win tomorrow, they can move up 3 or 4 spots.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, I think, I thought we learned a lesson in terms of in the middle of the game when we pitched around 2, 3, and 4 for Bedford, and then we didn't learn our lesson because it was, home run. But the bats were alive for Goffstown, and everybody hit the ball well. There was really, I'm looking through this, and there were very few strikeouts for Goffstown batters, and that is a good thing. I mean, you're going to have groundouts, you're going to have pop-outs, but you just don't want to see a lot of Ks.
Right.
And I'm going to look through quickly here. I think I saw maybe 1 or 2 strikeouts,
and that's
on the entire stretch.
Probably the biggest improvement for our team, because earlier in the year, we were consistently having like 8 to 10 strikeouts.
Right. And that changes the momentum of things. So Scott, I want to thank you, and I want to certainly thank our partners at Goffstown Television, Adam McCune, Broden McCune, our cameraman, Butch Gifford. Without this, it's not possible. So great game for Goffstown, and we want to wish them, we're not going to see the next game, because it'll be an away game, and maybe we'll have a playoff game at home. Who knows?
Fantastic.
Right? So with that, we're going to turn it over to our studio. Thank you.
Thank you.